What's up, YouTube? How's everybody out there doing today? We have something very, very special to show you today, and it's this car right here. 2006 Pontiac GTO, 6.0 liter, completely stock engine, automatic transmission, 4L65E, fully built tranny. We also have some gauges inside this thing. Nothing too crazy, as you guys can see. But possibly the coolest thing about this car is underneath the hood. And we'll show you that right now. As you guys can see, this is a fully custom twin turbo setup. And to start off, we have two 74mm Garrett turbos. Each of these turbos have 101 hot side T6 divided housings, which are huge for a stock 6.0 liter. We have a custom intake manifold, your traditional bread box setup basically. 80-pound injectors. This also has custom Pontiac valve covers that were done for this particular vehicle. The intake was also done for this vehicle as well, as you can see by the custom etching on the top here. If I remember correctly, it's a 102mm throttle body. She's a little dirty, but we're going to clean her up here one of these days. We have a custom water to air intercooler with a Wizard radiator, dual fan setup. Mearser electric water pump on this guy. We got line lock, fuel pressure regulator, custom bracket for the cool packs, custom bottle for our coolant. Also have the connection lines here that go into the head for relief, and a little catch can as well. All right, guys, let's go look at the trunk now. Got the battery location here, so I mounted the battery in the back, and here's our bucket that holds our water mixture for the water to air intercooler. Basically what we're going to be doing to this vehicle on top of what's already done, and I'm sure you guys are wondering why a twin turbo setup on a stock 6.0, and there's a story behind that, so you will hear that here soon. But basically what we're going to end up doing is we're mounting a custom bottle either here or here for a water meth setup. The other reason why this car is back here again, which there's a story behind why this car is here in the first place, and I'll get to that in a little bit as well. But as you can see, we're not in my shop. We're actually in a shop that's right across from my shop, and we're going to be having this shop do a full exhaust system on the car. When it initially left my shop, it didn't have an exhaust system. It literally had downpipes that went right off the turbo, as you guys can see, right off the turbo on both sides, and went down underneath the car and about, I would say, halfway to the transmission, and then just cut off, and that was it. 3.5-inch piping just cut off. There was a future plan of doing exhaust on the car, but because of the story coming here soon on how the car is back here again, we never got to do it until now. So it's going to be getting done at this point in time, along with, like I said, the water meth system as well. And we're also putting a boost controller on this car as well, so we can make more boost, and we're going to re-dyno it. All right, guys, so we're here with Westy. Westy's going to be doing the exhaust system on the GTO. I'll let him tell you more about what he does for a living and the name of his shop and what he specializes in and all that good stuff. So here he is.
What's going on, YouTube? Westy from Westy Speed Shop. To Andy here. Have his GTO over here to do a exhaust system, finish the exhaust system. Some was started, never finished. Didn't have a budget for. This is home to me. I do pretty much all automotive fabrication. Specialize in hot rods, but do a little bit of everything. So any kind of fabrications you have or need, automotive related, stop by and check me out.
There you go, guys. I'll put his contact information. What would you prefer? Phone number, email in the description of this video?
We can put both in.
Both. I'll have all of his contact information in the description of this video for him. So if you guys need any fabrication work done or anything of that nature, give him a shout and let him know what you need done. He'll help you out. We're going to head back over to my shop, and now we're going to have story time. All right, guys, we're back in the shop like usual. We're going to let Weston do his thing and make this exhaust system, and we'll have a little video of that coming up here after he's done with it. We probably won't videotape the process, but we'll videotape you know, the underside of it and how, you know, all the work that he's done to it and stuff like that. Should be done by next week, hopefully, and then we're going to bring it back over to this shop, and we're going to end up putting the methanol kit in and the boost controller and all the other little, you know, the tank and stuff of that nature that we need for that car. This GTO will be at Motorama, just so you guys know. So do me a favor, check out the description. Weston's information is going to be in there, and Motorama's information is going to be in there as well. So please, please, guys, come out and support us. Street Speed 717 is going to be out there, like I've mentioned in other videos. Guitarmageddon ZL1 is also going to be out there at our booth and showing off his car and stuff. So please come out, visit us, say hi, stop by, grab some stickers, business cards, whatever the case may be. So, story time on the GTO, guys. Back about, I don't know, 7 years ago, give or take, I actually had that same GTO in my two-car garage where I started out with Diablo Formula Racing, basically. Hell, I started there before we even had a name for the place. But it was my little house, my two-car garage at my house that I had, and that car came to me. Completely stock, 15,000 miles on the clock on that vehicle, and the individual that brought it to me at the time, which owned the car, was a younger, you know, 21-year-old, 19-year-old, 20-year-old kid, and he had it since brand new. Beautiful Victory Red, I guess is what they call that GTO, Victory Red, and he wanted me to put an old OFI turbo kit on it. If you've never heard of OFI, that stands for Ohio Forced Induction. They originally built a turbo kit for that GTO, or for another GTO that he ended up buying off of somebody else. And we did some modifications, and we ended up putting that turbo kit onto that GTO. When it was all done, it was a completely stock 6.0, completely stock transmission. And when it was finally done, I would say about a month later or so, we had that all together and done. We went to the dyno, and on 7 pounds of boost on a 76mm turbo with a 96 hot side, that car put down 532 horse to the wheel, 516 foot-pounds of torque to the wheel, if I remember correctly. This was years ago, guys, so it's hard to remember stuff like that. But what ended up happening was he took the car back, and about a month later, 2 months later, the transmission ended up blowing up on him, which was common, and I told the kid that, you know, that probably is what's going to end up happening. And it did. So we talked, and he ended up saying, you know, I'm going to bring it back to you. I wanted you to build the transmission. We're going to add more boost and make a little bit more power with that turbo setup. Well, that didn't happen. What ended up happening was he ended up taking that turbo system off of his car. He traded it to a guy in Florida for that twin turbo setup that you see on the car now. And a little bit of money on top, I think, is what he told me. So within the year's time, he ended up sending the turbos and a lot of the turbo parts and that intake manifold that was custom built for the car. He ended up sending that up to me, up to my house where I was working out of at the time. And I probably had that stuff for about a year and a half in my house, just sitting there waiting for him to bring the car in or, you know, and get the job done. And what ended up happening was, in the meantime, I opened up the first shop where I was, you know, before. And when that happened, he ended up bringing the car there instead. And in about a year and a half, we ended up installing that twin turbo setup onto that car. So then after the car was done, it was dynoed, the car was only making about 5 pounds of boost through both those turbos. Now, both those turbos, like I said previously, were 74 millimeter Garrett with 101 T6 divided housings on a stock 6.0 engine. Nothing else done to it. So you guys can obviously imagine that this car is, it's just, the engine's just not gonna cut it for these twin turbos that are on the car currently. So we got the car done. It put down like 440 horsepower to the wheel. It actually made a lot less horsepower, but it made a lot less horsepower because it was running a lot less boost per turbo, basically. But nonetheless, the customer was okay with that. He knew that that engine was not going to make the power that it was supposed to make with those big twin turbos on it. So what we ended up deciding was he knew that eventually he would bring the car back to me, and we were gonna do like a 408 or a 427 low compression, you know, big giant cam, or, you know, boost ready engine setup, basically is what we're gonna do to really take advantage of those turbos. Unfortunately, lo and behold, the car got sold, and that was it. Like, I had no idea where this car went. I had no idea who owned the car, who bought the car, where the car was. And the biggest thing was I knew Motorama was coming up this year, and I so wanted to take this car to Motorama, because this is like my unicorn of the shop, to be honest with you guys. It doesn't make a whole lot of horsepower, but it was such a huge job for us back then that I was extremely proud of it. Just like I'm extremely proud of the other cars that we're doing in here right now. So basically, I thought all ends were lost. I thought that car was gone. I'll never see this GTO again. My unicorn, my shop, my DFR unicorn is what I like to call it. And I thought I'd never see it again. It just so happened that a Facebook post was made by somebody, and it was that GTO. A whole bunch of people that noticed the GTO and knew that I built that car started tagging me in it. So I ended up getting a hold of the Facebook page that posted it, which I think was LS Nation, or it was LS Nation, and it was Worldwide LS Fest or something of that nature. Both those pages posted that picture. I ended up messaging one of them, and they got back to me and said it was a visitor that posted that picture. So obviously, being the person that I am, I looked down through the visitors post, and lo and behold, I ended up finding the new owner. So I ended up and I contacted him. I friend requested him on Facebook, and I contacted him through Messenger, and he got back to me almost immediately. After we talked a little bit and found out what the situation was with the car and how he achieved to get it, I called him that morning after he got off for work. We ended up talking a little bit, and he was extremely ecstatic about the fact that I found him, and I could tell him about the car because honestly, he didn't really know anything about the car. The dealership that he bought it from and the previous owner really didn't make any contact with him to say, hey, you know, these are the turbos. You know, they knew very very little about the car, and therefore he knew very very little about the car. So here we are today, and I cannot tell you how amazingly awesome it is to be able to see this car again. I went Saturday and I picked it up for him to be able to take it to Motorama, and while it's here on its little hiatus in my shop, it's going to be getting the exhaust work done, the methanol injection work done, and a retune done. And we're going to see if we can pull a little bit more power out of this car. And the good news is, this customer, this new customer that owns this GTO right now, we're going to make his dreams come true by, in the future, building him or getting him a built 408 or 427 engine for this vehicle and really let these turbos shine for what they really should be doing. So that's the story, guys. Like you can tell, I'm very very happy that this GTO is back in the shop, and we finally, you know, I wouldn't say tracked it down, but we were able to come together again with the new owner and come together with the GTO and bring her back here so we can really show the, you know, everybody, the world, whatever, what this car can really do. And I'm so thankful to the new owner, and so happy that he's allowing us to work on this vehicle again and allowing us to take it to Motorama. I think you guys are going to really really enjoy it if you do come out and see us. So like I said before, you know, please come out, check the description below. Like I said, all the information is going to be there from Motorama. It's been there every video, you know, for the past few weeks to let people know that we're going to be out there. And I want you guys to come out. I want you guys to see this GTO. This GTO is freaking awesome, guys. And if you're able to, come see it. You guys will not be disappointed, along with the GTO and all the other vehicles that we're going to have out there as well. So do me a favor, like usual guys, if you like this video, do me a favor and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Instagram, Diablo Formula Racing. Facebook, everybody, is Diablo Formula Racing. Deuces.